What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Draft Report. In today's video, we'll be talking about star Washington wide receiver Rome Odunze and how well he'll fare in the NFL. Let's get into it. Odunze led the nation in receiving this year, and the biggest reason for that was his deep ball connection with Penix. Here Odunze is lined up on the outside, and he's running a post over the top, and you can see his contested catch ability, which is his biggest strength, in full effect. Does a great job fighting for positioning early, getting his hands out of the way, and then goes up, makes an amazing catch outside of his frame, high points the ball, and brings it in through the contact. He also shows very good body control and flexibility on these catches. Here he is lined up on the outside. He's running an outside release fade to the front pylon, and he does a great job adjusting in the air, getting back to this ball on his back shoulder. It's kind of hard to see, but you can tell his adjustment he makes is amazing here. We can kind of see it at the other angle. He does a great job fighting for positioning and then rotates his body, doesn't allow that defender in, uses his frame to box him out, and then goes and gets it, shows that body control, toe tapping in the end zone. Odunze can also separate vertically and just win with speed down the field. Here he is lined up on the outside, and he's going to run a little double move against this corner. He does a great job selling this with a head fake and a stutter step, and then shows that burst, just getting upfield quickly and completely burning this corner. And then another great ability in his game, his amazing ball tracking. You can see this throw from Penix isn't perfectly accurate. He really has to track this over that shoulder, and he makes it look way easier than it actually is, making the catch. He's also very good at using the late hands technique on streaks and downfield passes, really helping his quarterback out. Here you can see outside release streak. Penix just throws it up to him, and it's kind of hard to see from that angle. But by the time Rome puts his hands up, you can see there's nothing here until right there that would make you think he's catching it, and the ball's basically in his hands. You can see the corner. By the time the corner is able to flip his head, Rome already has the ball and is running upfield, and it just helps him as a receiver in so many ways and shows his ball tracking and hands downfield. While Odunze is great as a deep ball receiver, he can also win with separating underneath. Here he is in motion across the formation. He's going to run a little curl route, and he does a great job selling this and breaking this off quickly and just completely fooling the defender. Just look at you can see at the stem, he does a good job giving a little false step to the outside, and then shows that quickness to just immediately get back to the ball and breaks the defender's ankles, gives him about 5 yards of separation, even though Penix doesn't give him the ball. Here's another play from that same game, this time running a dig route, and he does a good job selling this outside with a little false step right there on the 25. You can see he sells this out, gives a little head fake, and then he just gets upfield quickly, gains a ton of separation, and then is able to pick up the first down. Odunze also shows good start-stop ability on his routes. Here he is running a curl route against zone, and you can see he does a good job stopping very quickly, going from full speed and stopping on a dime. This really helps him because he's such a vertical threat that if defenses give cushions, he can just easily do this and get shorter catches. Odunze's biggest weakness is his ability to beat press. His release packages are very uncreative and underdeveloped as of now. You can see on this one he's very clearly doing an outside release on a fade, and he does nothing to really set this up, just kind of a little hop step, and the defender gets contact, and he just really struggles to get off that contact. He telegraphs his releases a lot and just kind of gives away if he's going outside, and he's not the most explosive off the line, so he gives away his frame really easily. Here's another example of that. This time he's going to give away an inside release, and you can see on the snap he just takes off immediately running his route, and the defender is able to get contact. And for how big he is, he kind of struggles with contact, which is a little worrying, but I think he can get better at the next level, especially if he improves his releases, because this is just not going to work against NFL level corners. The last area of Odunze's game I want to talk about is his yards after catch ability. He's not amazing with the ball in his hands, but he's agile enough and shows good contact balance to really be able to be a threat with the ball in his hands. He's never going to be Deebo Samuel, but he is a guy you can give screen passes like this to, and he can make something happen. Here's another play that shows that. Lined up outside on this trip set, and he's going to run a little dig over the middle of the field. Great adjustment to this ball. Ball's a little behind him, but he shows that catch radius, goes up and gets it, and then immediately turns to a runner as soon as he catches this, breaking 2 tackles immediately, and then drags forward, showing that strength for a couple extra yards. So that's going to wrap up the film portion of today's breakdown. I just want to wrap with my final thoughts while I show you some highlights I saw. So overall, Odunze is amazing as a true X receiver down the field. He's 6'3", 215 pounds, probably runs a high 4.4, making him above average speed for the position, especially at his height. So he can win vertically just with pure speed and route running, but then he also has the ability to just win at the catch point. He got 21 of his 28 contested catches this year, which is amazing and higher than anyone in this draft class. He possesses super strong hands, shows great ability to high point the ball, has a great catch radius because of his length, and then is also very good with his body control and flexibility to adjust to bad thrown balls. So overall, he's a quarterback's best friend and a guy that you can really just throw it up to and hope he catches it. And he'll probably come down with it like 70% of the time, which is amazing. And then unlike most guys who are just contested catch artists, he also can win underneath. He's not the twitchiest route runner, but I describe him as smooth. He's very fluid in and out of his breaks, doesn't show much, or shows a good ability to sink his hips and get in and out, even though he's not the quickest. And then he's also very nuanced, as he does a good job setting up his breaks and also uses head fakes and manipulates leverage pretty well in that aspect. So I think he's an above average separator, even though he doesn't possess the athletic tools to really be elite in that aspect. On the underneath area of the field, but he is very good, except against press. He struggles a lot against contact for someone who's as big as he is, which is a little worrying, and then his release packages off the line are just not good at this point. He gives away his breaks way too often and doesn't do a good job using his hands or swiping away defenders' hands and gives up his frame way too easily. And then also another thing, his route tree was very limited at Washington. A lot of his routes were just posts or streaks, really using him as that outside receiver, which in the league he'll do a lot of that too, but I'd like to see him expand his route tree a little more and run more underneath, dig routes, slant routes, stuff like that. But I think in the limited reps he did show, he was a very solid route runner on those, so I'm not worried about that at the next level. And then for a grade, I have him as 7.04 on my 8-point scale, making him a future Pro Bowler and a very high-end day one starter. I think he's worthy of a top 10 pick for sure. And then as a player comp, I kind of like T. Higgins, 6'4", 215, great contested catcher, maybe not elite speed, but decent speed, and can win in all areas of the field. So I kind of like that for his comparison. I think he can be a T. Higgins level player, but I think he can be better than T. Higgins because he can be the true number one of an offense. So that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.